Hi, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. So, I have a question for you. Could you ever imagine that a Christmas stocking hung by a fireplace could possibly cause the end of a marriage? I know, a stocking. Let's talk about it this morning. But before we start, I just want to read the disclaimer. So, this video is protected by the Fair Use Act of 1976, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. And it says allowances made for fair use for the purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. So, today we're going to be commenting on a case that was sent in a blended family. So let's go ahead and read what this case is all about, the situation. So it says the man explained that each Christmas his mother has a tradition of hanging customized stockings by the fireplace for each of her grandchildren. However, she does not have a stocking for her own son's 9-year-old stepson, even though he has been married to his wife for 3 years. I asked my mom, and she said that she loves her step grandchild, but does not feel comfortable yet to have a stocking with his name and hang it in her home. Apparently, my wife refused to drop it and chose it as a hill to die on, and even told me she would not be attending the Christmas party if mom doesn't do it. We started arguing about it for days. The man said he finally blew up and said that his wife's request for her son to be included in the Christmas stocking tradition was not reasonable. She started crying and called me blind for not seeing how my family was treating my stepson, she said. I said they love him and some stocking isn't going to prove anything. So she said she wouldn't go then. And I called her ridiculous for deciding not to go over something so trivial. She's not going to the house for Christmas. He said his wife is not speaking to him as a result of the argument. Well, that's a doozy. That is a doozy. So let me just take a deep breath because as a bio mom, I get it. And being in a blended family for 27 years and counseling blended families, I understand. And this situation is not uncommon. In fact, it happens a lot. But let me tell you that if the situation is resolved, it's going to cause major problems. So let's just jump right into it. So what I noticed right away are 6 red flags. And I'm going to tell you what those red flags are. So, red flag number 1. The grandmother has not accepted her son's stepchild as part of her family yet. Number 2, the man is okay with his stepson being left out of the family tradition. Number 3, the man does not have a close bond with his stepson. Number 4, the man doesn't want to upset his mom, but he is okay with upsetting his wife. Number 5, the man is in denial about how his mom really feels about his stepson. And number 6, he doesn't understand his wife's point of view. So, those are the things that we're going to talk about. And so, I want to start back with number 1. Let me go back. And so, number 1, the grandmother has not accepted her son's stepchild as part of her family yet. And let me tell you why I say this. Make myself a little bigger. I say this because, in her own words, what did she say? She said, I don't feel comfortable yet to have a stocking with his name hung in her home. He's been married for 3 years. It's not a girlfriend, it's not someone he just met. They've been together even over a year. But she says she's not comfortable yet. And so, what that translates to me is she hasn't accepted him yet. Now, I did 2 videos. I'm going to put it down in the link. Um, it was talking about why grandparents don't accept kids in blended family. One was called How to Communicate with Step Parents in a Blended Family. The other one was Tips to Understand Why Bio Grandparents Make a Difference with Kids in Your Family. It's a lot of different reasons. If you look at those videos, they'll tell you why. And obviously, she has another reason other than just, I don't feel comfortable yet. It's been 3 years. How do you need to feel comfortable? What is it that he needs to do to make you feel comfortable with him in the family? And so, because of that, it lets me know that there's a deeper reason here. There's a deeper reason, and she's just not saying it. Because if she says that she does it for all of her grandchildren and it's embroidered, so it takes time, whether she embroiders it or whether she sends it out to get someone else to do it, it takes time. So I'm pretty sure she doesn't wait till her bio grandkids get 3 years old before she puts the stockings up. So it lets me know there's something else that's going on. And so, number two, get back to the second slide. Oops, let me put this second slide back up there. And number two, the man is okay with his stepson being left out. He's okay with it. And again, let me tell you why. Because he doesn't follow up. He doesn't have any follow up action. Matter of fact, it's inaction. He isn't following up with the question saying to his mother, just like I said, that doesn't make any sense. Because he said this is her tradition. She puts all of her grandkids, and she hasn't put him in there for 3 years. He was 6 years old when he got in the family because now he's 9. So for 3 years, you didn't think it was important enough to put him on the fireplace with the other kids. And your son doesn't say anything because it seems like he just doesn't care. He's okay with your flimsy excuse of, I just don't feel comfortable yet. Okay, she just doesn't feel comfortable. That's going to lead me into number 3. And number 3 says he doesn't have a close bond with his stepson. He doesn't have a close bond with him. And again, how do I know he doesn't have a close bond with him? Because he's okay with him not being a part of it. And I just want to linger a little bit on this step right here. He doesn't have a close bond because if he had a bond with him, he would be concerned about him having a sense of belonging. As a matter of fact, he's neglecting his emotional health and development because he doesn't try to make sure that he has a sense of belonging. And that's one thing that parents do. That's one of our jobs. That's one of our obligation is to make sure that our child feels accepted and included in the family. That's one of the difference in a traditional family. In a traditional family, child is born into it, automatically they're included. They're a part of. But when you're in a blended family, you have to work toward that. You have to work to get that bond and making sure they feel included and feel that they're a part of the family. That's a human need, a natural human need want to have a sense of belonging and feeling a sense of security within the family. And because he doesn't promote that with his stepson, because he doesn't try to make sure that happens, he's neglecting him. And when you are neglected and you don't have a sense of belonging, it can lead to some mental health issues, such as depression, anxiety, and even suicide. I'm not saying all of this will happen to his son, but I'm saying the propensity of it happening is there because he doesn't have a sense of belonging. And if you don't have a sense of belonging, it could also interfere with your relationships. It can interfere with you being close to others. You're going to have difficulty connecting. So this just isn't just oh, well, she just doesn't want to put a stocking up. Oh, well, no big deal. It means a lot. It's the sense of belonging with the child. Because if he doesn't feel a part of this family, because I don't know the situation with his bio dad. I don't know if he spends time with them. I don't know if he spends time with his other family, because we know sometimes when couples separate or divorce, sometimes the nuclear family that they came out may have difficulty. So I don't know all that's going on, but what I do know is that he doesn't have a sense of belonging in this family, and it's crucial and it's critical. And that is something that is so important to his emotional health. Number 4. I love that I can do this. Number 4, he doesn't want to upset his mom, but he is clearly okay with upsetting his wife. He don't want to upset his mom, but upsetting his wife, that's okay. We can do that. And how do we know? Well, let's look at some of the things he said. He said that his wife is not reasonable. She's being ridiculous. And this is very trivial. So he's downplaying. He's downplaying how his wife feels. Again, his mom doesn't even challenge her, doesn't even question her. But his wife, you have all this to say about your wife, and you're supposed to be in covenant. In biblical terms, when you get married, you're in covenant. And even in societal terms, when you get married, that's a covenant. So you're in covenant with your wife. Your wife is your partner. She's the one that you're supposed to make sure that you have good communication with. But again, that's not important to him. What's important to him is making sure his mom is okay. That I'm not arguing with my mom. And that may cause me as a therapist to kind of look at the relationship. Is there what type of attachment is there with that relationship? Is it one that once I got married that I'm still trying to make sure that my mom is okay, but I don't understand how I should be in relationship with my wife? So that's something that would kind of have me to pause. So if I had them in a counseling session, I'd kind of explore that a little bit. Okay. Number five. Five, the man is in denial about how his mom really feels about his stepson. He's in denial about how she really feels about the stepson. He says, oh, they love him. It doesn't matter if the stocking's not there or not. He really doesn't want to explore this. Just by reading that lets me know that he's okay with her answer. And sometimes people don't want to explore and go a little deeper because they're afraid of what the answer may be. Just by her behavior, it lets me know. I'm not saying she doesn't love him. I don't know if she loves him or not. But I know by her behavior, she shows that she hasn't accepted him. And when you love someone, you accept them. So they kind of go hand in hand there. So, like I said, grandma may be dealing with some more issues. And other than just that, I don't want to hang the stocking, because that right there is trivial. What the man said is right. That is a trivial thing. But that's because it has a deeper meaning. It has a deeper meaning than just a stocking. And he doesn't want to explore it. He just wants to leave it right there. And number six, the man, he doesn't understand his wife's perspective or point of view. He just does not understand it. And I put he doesn't understand it. I don't know if he has children because it didn't say that he had biological children. And sometimes when people don't have children, sometimes they don't understand. They don't understand how a mother bear or a papa bear, how they protect their children and how what they feel it. Sometimes they don't understand it. So I don't know if he has any children. Um, but one thing I do know is this situation is putting a strain on their relationship, on their marriage. It's putting a strain on that. And if it doesn't get resolved, it's only going to get worse. And so one of the things that he has to do is he has to make sure that she knows that he understands what she is saying, how she is seeing the situation. And he can do this in a number of ways to let her know that he understands what she feels. Because sometimes you may not understand what somebody is saying. And this is when you do that active listening. When he has to start active listening, and that's something I would teach my clients, how to actively listen to the other person and what she's saying and putting himself in her shoes. Like I said, I don't know if he has any kids, but surely you can know how someone would feel if someone you love, so maybe someone close to him that he loves, how would you feel if they walked in a room and everyone was acknowledged but them? Because that's what it is. That stocking is an acknowledgement. You go into the house, you see the stockings up there, an acknowledgement that you are a part of this family. How would you feel? If he has a child, how would you feel if your son was done that way? And if he does have a child, his child isn't being excluded because he said his mother puts all of the grandchildren there. So that's the first thing is I would help him to figure out a way to see it from her perspective. Another way to make sure that the person understands that you know what they're talking about, what they feel, is you try to come up with a solution. What is the solution that we can come up with? Now, you can't make mom make an embroidered stocking. Again, those two videos that I put down there talks about one of them. You can't make somebody do something that they don't want to do, but you can clearly make sure that they understand how you do things in your house, how everyone is treated fairly and equally in your house. So one of the things that he can do is have a conversation with his mom, let her know how he feels about his stepson, that he is a part of his family. And by doing this, what he's doing is he's letting his wife know that he heard her, and he's validating her, and he's putting her needs first. He's letting his stepson know that I accept you, and that's a part of that bonding. And he's letting his mother know that this is my family. So by just doing that little conversation, he's hitting three, like they say, three stones. He's throwing three stones. He's hitting the mark. And if she doesn't want to make another embroidered, he can go buy one. He can buy one and tell his mom, I'm going to put this up here. So the thing is, when it's your parent, you can say things that your partner can't say. You can say to your parent, this is what I'm going to do, because that's your parent and they'll listen to you. And his mom, because she did respond when he asked her why she wasn't doing it, because she could have just said, because I don't want to. But because she responded, lets me know that she does listen to him. So what he can do is go back and talk to his mom. Like I said, explain to her how he feels. She refuses to put the stocking up. He can buy a stocking and put it up there. Now that's just one way of doing this. I'm sure there's other ways of doing this. And so right now I just want to, if you're getting value from what I'm talking about, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll know when I go live. Because this is some good stuff, I must say. Like I said before, I've said it before, I wished I had this when I was going through my blended family, someone I could talk to, someone that can give me direction, because there is no roadmap. There's no roadmap for how to blend your family. But you can surely get some advice from people that have been in the blended family. And so, like I said, that's a suggestion that I would have. What are some of your suggestions? Put it in the comment below. Let me know what you think, what you would do. And also let me know if you've come upon this situation, if this has happened to you, if you've been in a situation, your blended family, and it was hard for people, individuals, to accept the blended family that you created. Okay, so put it down there so I can see what you're saying. I love to read your comments. I really do like hearing other people's perspective and their point of view. And I just want to thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you for taking the time out. And as always, I'll see you in my next video, and enjoy the rest of your day. All right, talk.